This to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. Today we are here to talk about Spencer Rattler's first start, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Here we go.
Must-win game.
Absolute must-win.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the last couple of previews and review episodes. You know, the Saints have to win.
Yeah.
We said 2 out of the 3 games. So we lost the first one. So we got this one and the Broncos game left. So it's gotta happen.
We said they had to win 2 out of 3, and then we also said even if they win 2 out of 3, this BUCS game is a must-win out of those 2. Because, you know, even if you theoretically beat the Chiefs and the Broncos, sure, your record would look good, but in the division, you'd be really behind the 8 ball. Plus, you know, we've seen it, especially in this Dennis Allen era, where you're at the end of the year like 1 win away from playoff contention, and then tiebreakers come into play even outside of the division. And so those NFC wins really become more and more important at the end of the year as you're looking into playoff scenarios. So even if not for the division, it's an NFC win. And, you know, so far, we got 2 losses in that category. So we need it.
We need it.
For multiple different reasons.
Yeah.
And then, of course, look, you could look at this realistically. Derek Carr going down, Spencer Rattler coming in. Realistically, it could literally be a week. It could literally be 2 weeks. He is a backup quarterback, but it does feel like so much more.
It does.
You know,
there's a level of excitement.
Yeah,
and I think it's a good thing. You know, a lot of people were surprised that DA made the announcement as quickly as he did. I mean, you sent it to our group text saying, look at this.
Well,
wow, he already said what's going on.
I was sitting there, you know, at my desk, and you get the alerts whenever they send out alerts if they're going live. And I knew, you know, I'm not sitting there waiting to listen to Dennis Allen's press conference every Wednesday afternoon, but knowing that this was the first time he was getting on the podium with the quarterback announcement at play. Like, you know, at that point, we knew Derek Carr is definitely missing the next game. We know there are 2 options to choose from at quarterback, and we know how much talk there's been in anticipation behind who's it going to be, especially with Rattler coming in backup duties, and given, you know, our takes on it. You know, I'm happy it's Rattler. We said it in our last episode. We fully expected them, or were very strongly expecting, and weren't going to be surprised if they went with Haener. And if anything, even I said, okay, well, maybe I'll be wrong about Haener, but one thing I could have almost certainly predicted, which I was proven wrong about, was that they were going to milk this announcement.
Yeah.
You know, not for any kind of publicity thing, but just knowing DA. I mean, he wouldn't even tell us where Clinton Kubiak was physically going to be at a game. You know, he waited till the last minute to say if Kubiak was going to be in the press box or the sideline. It's like he's shown us every indication that if it's some kind of perceived, however slight, strategic advantage, that he's going to wait to make some kind of public announcement. So I fully expected them to just keep it under wraps, go till 11 a.m. Sunday, and that's when we were going to know who's going to be lining up under center. I was okay with that. I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing everybody lose their shit online. But kudos to DA. He did not do that. He came right out, said it. Some people said he didn't look happy about Haener being the guy, that DA wanted Haener to be the guy. I don't buy that.
Don't lend any.
Well, it's not even lending in, but it's just because some people said, yeah, his body language, he just seemed upset at the podium. I was like, actually, he seemed giddy. He seemed more like, to me, he seemed more excited that whole time. He's like smiling, he's cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you heard the joke where they're like, who was the last rookie quarterback who started for you?
Like
he says Derek Carr.
Yeah. Yeah. So, look, this is a good thing overall. There's a lot going on, look, we can talk about it. There's the agenda. It's very much a thing.
Yeah, but this is apples and oranges to it because Carr wasn't benched.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even talking about Carr. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of lead up. There's, even during training camp, preseason, there's the agenda. Then there's Derek Carr. And there's all this talk around the Saints quarterback position. And then the national personalities are kind of weighing in on it.
Yeah.
Mina Kimes she might go on the block party if he throws for 175. And even before that, Kay Adams said, support your quarterback, kind of like the antithesis to Mina Kimes, like being intrigued by the agenda. And the whole thing is like, you can support your quarterback and be a Spencer Rattler fan and not have any adjective or label to put on it. I mean, this is our quarterback. This is the Saints QB. He's rolling in. We're excited about it because the guy's talented as hell.
Yeah.
And he's looked great.
Yeah.
As a football fan, you should be excited about it no matter what your feelings were before, whether you think Derek Carr should be QB1 or Spencer Rattler should be QB1 or QB2.
Well, let's hold on. As of right now, Carr is QB1.
That's what I'm saying.
Rattler is QB2 this week.
He is the QB2.
Now, the other thing I like about this is just completely shit on the whole premise that people were trying to make a thing about, well, who is the number 2 quarterback going into week 1? We have to know who the number 2 quarterback is.
Right.
And it just shows that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And they basically said that in the flow of the game, if Carr were to get hurt, they felt more confident in Haener coming in and executing the Carr offense. With a week of game planning available and at their disposal, Rattler becomes the guy that they feel more. And I get that because it's kind of the Taysom and Jameis thing. When Breeze got hurt, who came in and relieved him? Jameis. And he finished that game. Who started the next week?
Taysom. Right.
Taysom. So it's the same situation. We've seen it before, so this honestly shouldn't be a surprise.
It's not unprecedented. There's more. Back when you had the Breeze to Jameis to Taysom situation, you almost had more of a difference. I think Haener and Rattler are closer
than those two
than Jameis and Taysom are. But and again, it's just a lot is made because there's way too much desire to be validated amongst our fan base right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I have not noticed that.
Another hot take.
Yeah, there you go. That one's scorching.
And it's just like
you mean people are putting their own personal opinions ahead of the fandom and saying, "Hey,
we have one of the most exciting. We have one of the most exciting quarterbacks to start a game for the first time.
Yeah,
for the Saints in a long time. If you follow me there, and but there's still a huge contingent of people wondering if some people are going to be happy if said quarterback doesn't do well because it's going to prove themselves right. Like, no, I mean.
I would rather
you were probably one of the biggest, Derek Carr, even with Rattler. Like, you were championing him over Rattler. You and other people for this year. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But what did I say about 2025?
Right, Rattler. Right.
I wanted to see Rattler and Haener have a chance to compete with Carr for the number.
And I bring that up just because, as much as you were, pounding the table for
this year,
it's Carr this year. Yeah. We don't need to be pushing Rattler to start over Carr this year. As much as you were pounding the table about that, you're not going to be happy if Rattler doesn't perform well. There's no scenario in which you're going to say, you know what, Rattler didn't do well, but I proved my point that Carr should be starting over him. You're not going to be happy about that.
No, and let me say this. Honestly,
it's crazy.
Fuck my point.
Right.
I want Rattler or Haener, whoever the hell, or Carr is under center.
Yeah.
I want them to throw for 500 yards.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns and win the game every single week. It's not about opinions, yours, mine, anybody in the Twitter universe. It is about the team's success.
Let's play football. Let's win football games.
Root for the black and gold, the Fleur de Lis logo.
Exactly.
I'm not rooting for players. I've been on record saying this numerous times.
Yeah.
That's not what I root for.
Not
I didn't
players
root for
alone.
Michael Thomas.
Right.
It's you pull forward the team first and foremost when you are a fan of said team. I'm not here to wish that DA fucks up so he gets fired.
Yeah.
If he's going badly, then yes, we're going to say he needs to be fired. And we said that last year. You and I
Right.
were very vocal about it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if DA's successful and wins a Super Bowl, hell yeah, more power to him. I hope he stays here for 50 years.
Right.
Just growing up as a Saints fan, I mean, we mainly know unhappiness and disappointment and all of
Yeah.
that. So to me, I'm here for all of the success that we can possibly get.
Yeah.
Give me any positive outcome that we can possibly have, and
look, and if
I'll be
Rattler
happy.
goes, if he plays this week and then he has to play against the Broncos and it's 2 short weeks and we win both games,
I
and
hope he goes bananas.
lighting it on fire, and then there's a whole story
Absolutely.
when he comes back about should it be him, should it be Carr, regardless of what our opinions on that might be.
No, that would be great.
That means
he played well. Yeah.
Great problem to have. If your 5th round rookie quarterback plays well enough in his fill-in duties to start having a legitimate question about whether he or an 11-year QB veteran should play,
Yeah.
that's good for your franchise.
And let me say this.
You know,
I am proud of DA for humbling himself
Yeah.
and pivoting from his early season stance of saying, Spencer Rattler will never start a game as long as I'm head coach, because I've read that sources said that on
Oh,
the
is
Twitter
that-
universe. Yeah, good for DA for humbling himself and
Yeah.
changing directions. I mean, it's almost like these sources don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't know. I mean, there's no telling. Like we've said it many times. You and I
I heard that Carr didn't want to. He faked an injury last week. He didn't want to finish the game because things were going so bad.
they were saying that last week too. That
Good shit, guys.
It's like last year there was the word that every time he got hurt, it was because he wanted to get out of the game.
If you believe that, then I got some
And just like there's
property I want to sell you.
some people saying that the offensive line didn't block for Carr because they wanted him to get out. Our offensive line has a hard enough job doing what they're told as it is. doing what they're trying to do is not something our offensive line is good at. I almost wish they would try to let Carr get injured, because that means they'll probably protect him the way our offensive line is playing.
That's true.
They're trying to protect him. He's getting killed. If they tried to get him killed, he'd probably be protected. I'd be fine with that. But,
Yeah.
it's just there's too much out there about, look.
Well, there's a lot of bullshit out there. And let me say this. The whole narrative that Dennis Allen, wasn't going to let him. I mean, that's just stupid. We talked about it last episode. DA is a desperate individual at this point. He is going to do everything in his power to stay in this position as head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
How does he meet that goal? By having the team win.
Right.
Who did he put on? He put the quarterback on the field this Sunday coming up that he feels, or the team feels, is going to give them the best chance to succeed. Because you're not going to self-sabotage to prove a point.
Right. And I think
in a role that is so highly scrutinized, like you are visible on TV for 3.5 hours every Sunday. Everyone's watching your every move, your facial expressions, how you handle everything.
There's a TV camera dedicated
There's a TV camera dedicated to you. No one in their right mind is going to self-sabotage to prove a point.
Yeah, and
just the players too.
And here's the other thing. It's like I'll be happy to be proven wrong if some whistleblower comes out after the season.
Don't even dignify that shit. It ain't happening.
I mean, dignify, not dignify. If I'm given actual hard evidence that this is what is actually happening, that's fine. And I understand sources are a big deal in the NFL. Schefter and Rappaport.
Sources put stuff out there that they want out there.
Yeah. So,
to benefit their own thing.
What I'm going to go by, unless I have the smoking gun or some verified
There is no smoking gun. We're honestly wasting too much time on this topic.
Yeah, unless I'm actually working for the team and also doing a podcast at the same time, which wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what I can see, what the circumstantial evidence tells me, what my eyes say, and I go with what we know.
I lean to common sense.
Yeah.
What does common sense tell you?
And so we said it last episode, and this is the last point I'll make on this, is that it's going to show a lot. What is the relationship between DA and Clint Kubiak, right? Is DA brought in Clint Kubiak to presumably be the Greg Williams type of offensive coordinator where the coordinator can just do his own thing, make his own calls, and then DA can get out of the way from offense. Mm-hmm. So this shows me, without knowing anything else, that happened in this case. Kubiak made his call. Kubiak said, this is the guy I want to run my offense this week. DA said, you know more about offense than I do. Cool. The only other way that another call was made is if we had some kind of backwards Al Davis Raiders situation, Jerry Jones situation where the owner called in and Mama Gail or Mickey or Dennis Losh was like,
Gail
hey,
doesn't give a fuck what's
we
going
need
on.
to sell tickets, so put Rattler in. That's the only other scenario in which this QB went in, but I don't think I just don't think that's
Let's just look at the
how it
reality.
happened.
What coaching staff drafted Rattler? The current offensive coaching staff.
Yeah.
What coaching staff drafted Hayner, the previous offensive coaching staff?
Right.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
That being said, I do applaud them making the announcement early in the week because I think what it has done is everybody, no matter what side of the coin you're on, is excited for the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there hasn't been a home game that people have looked forward to in a while, just with that sense of what's going to happen. You know, is this going to be the next guy? Because that's the dream for every actual Saints fan is for somebody to step up, be the next guy. I'm not going to say the next Drew Brees because there's never going to be a next Drew Brees, but the next starter long term for this franchise. That's our dream.
Yeah.
So, but why don't
we
we dive into the picks? I think we went off the rails a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Nick, obviously, he's not here today. He is flying back from Guam. That's a real thing. So
It's
as surprising as that is, the 24-hour flights.
some people travel for work. Nick is taking that to a different level. He just, that's where he is. But anyway,
Yeah. So he actually texted his picks in. So his prediction for the game is he picked the Buccaneers 19-16. He is going with Kamara as the offensive MVP. Says 100 yards, touchdown. And going with Chase Young as the defensive MVP with 2 sacks.
wow,
Yeah. So
that's going to be a jump.
right. So as of right now, Nick is in the lead. He has 6 total points. I'm second with 3. Corey, you're bringing up the rear with 2. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and let you go
I'm
second.
just staging the comeback.
There you go.
I feel good about this one. I do. I kind of picked the Saints to win over the Chiefs last week for similar reasons, even though my rational brain should have led me otherwise. Look, our offensive
We're not rational. We're Saints fans.
no, exactly. Good point. Our offensive line is in such a terrible place to where there's no way that I should pick us to win, even if we had Patrick Mahomes behind center. But like Max said, we're Saints fans. We're not rational. I'm picking the Saints to win, and I think we get I'm also going to go irrational. Bringing up the rear in our standings here, and I think we're going to have some offensive spark.
What you got? What's the score?
Going to go 28-24 Saints, and your offensive MVP is going to be Spencer Rattler.
Are you saying this because you might be starting him this week?
I did move him. You saw that?
You started him? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I love it.
He's going to exceed expectations.
Okay.
And Kubiak said he's not holding anything back because he's a rookie. He's got good command of the offense. We already know he can put the ball where he needs to put it. He seems to be one of these guys that's cool under pressure. I can be proven completely wrong by this.
I hope you're not.
And I hope
you're
I'm
right.
not. But I'm going to go with him. Let's call it not huge on the yards, maybe 220 for yards. But give me 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. He's going to have a pick. He's going to at least have a pick. If he doesn't have a pick, I'll be shocked.
Okay.
And then defensive MVP. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Marshawn.
Okay.
It's the Marshawn Evans Bowl, and
Ooh.
they're going to be targeting. I don't think he's going to be missing out on targets. He's got 9 targets against him this year, according to Underhill.
Yeah, I saw that.
And between Baker's moxie and Evans, the ball is going to be going his way. And I think he's been chomping at the bit to make something happen all year. So give me Marshawn, give me 1 pick, and multiple passes. I think the fact that he's going to hold Evans under. Let's
Well, just give me just stats.
let's just do
190?
one pick, at least 5 tackles, and he's not going to have 100 yards thrown against him combined among receivers.
No, I like it. Much like you said, the Saints fan in me
Yeah.
is really looking forward to this game, and I think back to the year 2000 when Aaron Brooks, as a second-year pro, We just traded for him, not too long before, and he stepped in against the defending Super Bowl champion Rams. He actually threw 4 touchdowns on that game. No one expected us to win that game. No one gave us a chance. It was at St. Louis. I'm actually riding with you on this. I'm going to just – it is a must-win game. We've harped on this for the last few weeks. I'm leaning into it. I feel like the crowd is going to really be into it just with the excitement of a fresh face at quarterback. Because we all know Carr is not the most popular person in New Orleans. Right. So I think the crowd is going to be really hype. I think the atmosphere is going to be really good. I think the defense this week is going to bring it. They've had the last 3 games, whether it's individual play breakdowns, giving up the untimely big play at the worst possible time. I think this is the week that they kind of stop the bleeding on defense. They have their most complete game of the season since weeks 1 and 2. Sure. I think we see the defense that looks more like that. Again, they're playing at home. Baker, as much as I love Baker, has been prone to mistakes in the past. Yeah. I do think that the defense is going to really, really play well, get a few turnovers. So I'm going to go Saints. You said 28. I was also going to say 28.
Okay.
I am going to go 28-27. Actually, no, 28-21.
Okay.
28-21. And then I'm going to go Kamara as the offensive MVP.
All right.
Because I think for Rattler to really have a chance to shine and for this team to be where it needs to be, they're going to have to be able to run the ball.
They have to be two-dimensional for sure.
They have to be able to run the ball, but also the shorter passes, like Kamara has to play a factor.
Yeah.
Whether it's screen passes, flare passes, whatever. I don't think he's going to have a great day rushing the ball because Vita Vea is in the middle and that dude's a freaking monster. But I do think that Kamara somehow is going to get 2 touchdowns. Yardage, I'm just going to say like 80 total yards, but I think he's going to make the touchdown, so that's going to really bump up the numbers. Defense, you made a compelling point. I do think that this is going to be the Lattimore versus Mike Evans show that it always is. So I'm actually going to go Lattimore as well. I think I'm going to say he has 1 interception as well. And I think that it's going to be a key interception. That's going to be the difference. It's going to set us up to where the offense gets a short field.
Just so in case we're tied, that's going to be the tiebreaker. Clutch interception versus interception.
Yeah. And I also feel like we're going to get another turnover. I don't know if it's going to be on special teams, like a fumbled kick return or a muffed punt return, something like that. I feel like there's going to be multiple turnovers on the Buccaneers' behalf because let's be honest, that's what it's going to take for us to really win this game. The offensive line, as we've covered, is in shambles. The weapons in the receiving game, you've got basically Olave and everybody else is not very dependable as of late. Running back wise, Kamara has been dependable all season, so I do think we get at least 2 turnovers. I would not be surprised with 3. Okay. So I think the defense is really going to show out. But I will say Saints 28-21, Kamara 2 touchdowns, Lattimore interception.
Sounds good.
You got anything else before we wrap it up?
No. I'm ready for the game.
I am too, man. This is as excited as I've been for a Saints game in a while. Yeah. It's just it's the allure of the unknown. That's the probably the most exciting thing as a fan of any particular football team is when you get that next young quarterback, whether it's a rookie or a second-year guy, starting a game for the first time because it's the mystery box. You don't know what's inside of it.
But somebody you can see clearly has potential, pro potential.
Look,
when you've got everyone across the board from local to national, the highest of national guys, most experienced guys to local guys saying that when he throws the ball, it's different. Like he can make any throw on the field. That's not being said lightly. It's not conjecture. When a guy with this talent set comes in and he's on your team, if this was happening on the Patriots, kind of is with Drake May. Yeah. But people, even though he's first round pick, but when this happens on other teams, we're always saying that dude might take the guy's job. And it's not that we don't want him to take Carr's job necessarily. That's not the game we're after.
I just want the best guy. Whoever gives the team the chance to win, that's what I want.
But the idea that he could be potentially your next starter. Yeah. There are people who don't believe that. That people think he's just another guy.
No,
my brother included.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I mean, like, I don't. While it's nice, I guess, to get the validation of the national media and and the quote unquote QB experts whenever they're like, this guy has all the tools in the toolbox.
Yeah,
I trust my eyes with that. And you and I watched enough of Rattler over the years. I remember watching him in the Elite 11.
Yeah.
And the kid can freaking sling it. The Netflix special, you could tell he was talented, kind of a little bit of a. He was immature at that point, which we all were at that age. If you were to put a camera in front of me at that point, it would have been awful.
I was not.
Anyway, but I think the thing is, we've seen enough games of his, whether it's at Oklahoma or whether it's at South Carolina, Senior Bowl. You can see the arm is special.
Yeah.
Like I've been on record multiple times saying he has the talent.
Yeah.
To be a top 3 QB in this league.
Yeah, and it's distinguishable from other guys that have started in backup duties. Like, we weren't feeling quite this way about Ian Book.
Yeah, Ian Book
when he
shouldn't have been
started.
drafted. I mean, let's be honest.
It's like, so this is good. This is a good thing.
I think Nick said it best,
it.
where Rattler's the exact type of quarterback you draft in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah,
the person who, for whatever reason, is available in the 4th or 5th round, but has all the tools in the playbook to be able to be the guy who could become the next one. So,
and if anything, it gives us an ability or a chance to find out.
I just
we're gonna know like this way.
All I want to see this weekend. Don't be Nathan Peterman. Yeah. That's the worst case scenario. Do not do that.
We were close to having.
Well, with the supporting cast right now, it kind of scares me a little bit. But to me, just be effective. Don't turn the ball over. You're probably going to throw an interception, but don't just have a good game. Play under control.
Yeah.
Distribute it to the players around you.
Keep your cool.
Make the smart plays. Show that next offseason you're going to be the guy Carr has to worry about.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
No hero ball, Spencer, please. Like, you're good enough by yourself, all right? Don't need to be the hero. There's enough of them on the
At the end of the
rest
day,
of the team. So
just win. This is the most important game of the season by far. It is absolutely must win. Corey highlighted we already have two NFC losses so far, so you have to win. You cannot fall back too far behind, so just win. Do whatever you got to do. Just win.
Agreed. All right, and so with that, we'll see you all after the BUCS game, whatever the outcome may be. And
I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, here we go. Thanks for listening to another episode of 23 Podcast. We'll catch you next time.
Who dat?